Good morning. Welcome to Unity Longmont Spiritual Center on January 10th, 2021. We are blessed to have Reverend Dan Kendrick as our speaker today and Christina Hildebrandt and her harp, Hester, for our music today. So we'll begin with a piece of music, please.
Hester says, Happy New Year.
Thank you, Christina. That was beautiful and so soothing. And it's at this time that we go into prayer together by taking a breath. And I will be reading a poem for our prayer this morning. It is called Practicing Hope, and it's from Jolie Rundy. It seems to me there is no such thing as false hope. I know why people say, I don't want to get your hopes up. They want to protect you from experiencing disappointments and failure. I don't see a problem with hope. Hope is one of those practices that can alter everything. Hope is all good. Hope is one of those declarations that alters energy. Energy is everything. I said that backwards. Everything is energy. Hope for the best is affirmative and good and creative. In the presence of hope, anything and everything is a real possibility. Practicing hope is a holy union with God's unlimited goodness. So I say, I hope I make a difference. I hope you have peace today and beauty and love and joy and everything your heart desires. I hope you know how beautiful you are, how magical and powerful and important you are to everything and everyone. I hope you remember to enjoy breathing, walking, sharing, loving, eating, listening, caring, praying, communing, hugging, kissing, being you. I hope you enjoy being you. There is no one like you in all the world. You are unique. I hope you know you are the light, and I hope you know that you make all the difference in the world. I hope you know you are loved. And so it is. And so we will have a piece of music again by Christina.
This piece is called Little Red Bird. It's Welsh, although I'll be singing it in English. And when I chose it, I actually thought about hope. Um, because although we seem to be on the cusp of perhaps a hopeful change in our nation, it comes with a lot of pain. and and so I chose this for the lyrics. So it's hopeful at the end. Little red bird of the lonely moor, lonely moor, lonely moor. Little red bird of the lonely moor, oh, where did you sleep last night? Did I not sleep on the swaying briar, swaying briar, swaying briar, tossing about as the wind rose higher? Oh, little I slept last night. Little red bird on the lonely moor, lonely moor, lonely moor. Little red bird on the lonely moor, oh, where did you sleep last night? Did I not sleep on the cold wave's crest, cold wave's crest, cold wave's crest, where many a man has taken his rest? Oh, my sleep was too light. Little red bird on the lonely moor, lonely moor, lonely moor. Little red bird on the lonely moor, oh, where did you sleep last night? Wrapped into leaves, I lay at ease, lay at ease, lay at ease, as sleeps the young babe on its mother's knees. Oh, sweet was my sleep last night.
Thank you, Christina. So perfect. And now we will hear from Reverend Dan Kendrick, a talk and a meditation.
There we go. Well, good morning, one and all. And we'll see what Spirit has for me, for us. And when I think about tuning into Spirit and to see what Spirit has, I'm reminded that Spirit, my experience is Spirit always has something for me. And it's like 24/7. And if I want to know what that is, the responsibility is mine to come to Spirit and ask. But then there's another thing after asking is listening. Can I hear what Spirit has for me? Can I experience it? Can I encounter it? So as I see it, it's very much like a relationship. There's sometimes in my relationship with my wife that I don't want to hear what she has to say. Sometimes it's not to my liking. However, a lot of times in those situations when I maybe come to my senses a little bit, I realize, oh, this is some important information for me. Maybe I should take it in and listen. And also, why, even if it wasn't important information, why would I not want to hear that also? What is it about me that I'm not open to be present with another person and their consciousness and just allow them to bring forward whatever they're going to bring forward, and then I can do whatever I do with that. Assuming we're not out to kill each other, and then I'd probably take some other precautions. I read in the paper, I think about a week ago, evidently there are scientists who, I'm not going to get the scientific language here, but the idea is they track how noisy or quiet the earth is. And just recently, they recorded that since they've been recording, the earth is the quietest it's ever been since they've been recording. So I took that as good news, like, maybe with the quietness, it's going to enable us to tune in more individually, but also my sense was, as I just sat with that, was that spirit was listening. That there's a great listening going on. A great opportunity. And I would think if there ever was a time you wanted to put a request in, on whatever level, this would be the time. And, why ask for a loaf of bread when you can have the entire store? I'm not surprised that they're in the midst of this listening and this time of quiet, that all kinds of disturbances start coming up and out. Maybe what was holding them in has been lifted, and now it's a time for purification, for letting go of what's not working and moving to what is working. And my experience of these things is usually they come out the way they're put in. So it can be of great value just to have a holding of the light as things are let go of, as things are being completed. I can recall when I was getting my degree in applied psychology, University of Santa Monica out in California. We were at our practicum, which was the last thing we did before they would tell you if you passed or did not pass. Of course, this was after 2 years of work, but the practicum was set up, and because it wasn't uncommon for people to have anger issues, let's put it that way. And as students, what we learned on ourselves first. In terms of being a counselor, we worked with the inner counselor. And the practicum was set up as such so that if anger came up for someone, it would be a safe place in every aspect of that safety to let that up and let it come out. And I'd been working on a relationship with my dad. They asked us, part of our project was choose a person that's the most challenging for you, that's the most disturbing, that triggers you the most. And we suggest you make them your relationship project for this year. And it was a no-brainer for me. I remember sitting at my dad's birthday, about 12 people there, and he was telling a joke to everyone, something he did often. And I was seething with resentment. And right there, like, Danny's not even talking to you. Where in the world is this resentment, anger coming up? And the project was such is that no part of it was trying to change the other person. It was working with yourself to change yourself. And then as an experiment, see if anything changed, if the other person changed or not or whatever. But the purpose wasn't to change the other person. It was to change how you were relating to them. So during the course of this practicum, as I was being worked with, I realized this anger was just sitting there. So luckily they had some patakas. A pataka is kind of like a pole with padding on it. So you could take it and beat a pillow and, harmlessly. And Dr. Mary Holnick, Dr. Mary and Ron Holnicks founded this university, and Mary was working with me. No, it was Ron, I'm sorry, her husband. And so I started trying to get at this anger and let it out and beating the pillow. And I thought I was really going at it like 1,000%. And Ron stopped me, after I was in it a few minutes, and he said, Dan, is it your intention to do this 100%? And I said, yeah. It kind of shocked me, like, aren't I doing it 100%? He said, well, my sense is, you may be doing 50% right now. That's my sense. Well, it was a fantastic intervention because I got that, okay, I could go at this more. It's a challenging thing when you're mad at your dad. And mom was part of this too, but I was focusing on dad. Who are your parents that you love, who at probably one time you considered God. So can you imagine the reservations inside me when there was this rage that had never been expressed and it wanted to come out? I needed a lot of permission and support and like, are you sure this is going to be okay? Because the last thing I wanted to do was hurt Dad. But what do you do when this reservoir of rage is inside and you know it and you want to get it out? So I went back at it and I hit this point where I figured out I understood what 100% was. Let's put it that way. It's like, there's a saying 99% is I think when I heard it, the B word, but that 99% is horrendous. I'll put it that way. And 100% is a breeze. So when I hit into the 100%, it's like I hit a gusher. Literally, it was like you see in the movies, the oil gusher. It was coming out. And words and things I would never dream of saying to my dad or about my dad. And the interesting thing was, during that releasing process, another thing that came up, I had asthma as a child. I saw the asthma come up. You're like, well, how do you see asthma? Like, I don't know, I saw it. I knew it. It's like, there it goes. And needless to say, once that process had completed itself, which really that's all it was looking to do, was complete itself. And it, even though it was about my dad, it held my dad harmless. It's something I had created around my dad and placed inside my consciousness. And placing it in there, I didn't know how to get rid of it, but I wanted to get rid of it. And the way I got rid of it was to let it come out, much the same way I'd put it in. So am I saying that everyone has to go to USM Practicum and come into a setting like this to get rid of something like that? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's how this particular process worked for myself. I think if we had the intention of clearing ourselves and becoming as clear as we can in our consciousness, and that becomes our intention, then the methods will show up of how to do that. Is it possible that spirit could take it? I'd say definitely yes. Is it possible spirit's already taken a boatload? It's like, yeah, that's real possible. You know, I'm just, what came into my awareness was Jesus clearing the temple. That appeared to be a clearing process. Yeah, I wasn't there, to my knowledge. I checked myself there because I don't know for sure if maybe I was, I don't know. But whether I was or wasn't, there, from the way that was presented, that was a clearing, cleansing process. And that particular process happened also to have a lot of, well, I don't know, seemed to be some rage in there. So I'm looking just at, well, what about this clearing process? Who's in charge of the clearing process with us individually and with us collectively as a planet? I would say if you're looking collectively as a planet, that's a pretty big presence. It's got to be a pretty big presence. Strong presence, loving presence, presence that can hold in the midst of chaos. What is seeming chaos. But what if we call chaos is just a clearing, cleansing process? What if some of these things we look at and as questionable events are just a clearing process that had to take place? These things had to come up. They had to come out somehow, some way. Have you ever considered they could have been much worse? much, much worse had not spirit been involved. We as humans find ourselves in many different places in our consciousness. Well, I won't go there. I caught myself attempting to explain the unexplainable. But I'm hoping you're hearing about the unexplainable through the one who knows. Do you get that? The one who's doing this, doing everything. It's doing the Capitol, doing Donald Trump, doing you. And has every person involved, their highest good, is working for that person's highest good, no matter who they are, what they think, who they are politically, or who they are religiously or non-religiously. We all have our place in spirit, and spirit has no issue with where any of us have placed ourselves. It takes us where we are right there and says, I'm here. If you want me to take your hand, I'll take your hand and we'll go from here. And the going may get a little tough, but don't worry, I got your hand. And your future is guaranteed. I found on this level, I haven't seen anything that's guaranteed on this level. Nothing. No one's been able to guarantee that I'll have a job tomorrow. Or I'll even be here physically tomorrow, for that matter. So the guarantees are not necessarily for this level, they're for who we truly are in terms of coming into our awareness. That we are the light, we are the child of God. Maybe the question comes, well, then where do I find security in this world? Because I am in this world. In this world of no guarantees, where do I find my security? Is there security? I find for me, maybe one way I connect to security is I gain altitude. The higher I can go, the more things I see things in perspective. Yeah, I used to live in El Paso, Texas, but and El Paso's got a mountain range. It runs right down through the middle of the city. There's a west side and there's an east side. And if you live on the east side and hadn't seen the overall view, you wouldn't know there's more city on the other side of those mountains. If you lived on the east side, you wouldn't know there's half the city on the west side of those mountains. But if you lived right at the top of one of those mountains, they're about 7,000 feet high, or at least if you hiked up there and looked, you would see the east side, the west side, you'd see downtown, you'd see the whole picture. And you'd easily put it all together in terms of orientation. It's the same way with spirit. As you gain altitude and you come in and look from spirit's perspective, it's all right there. It's all, you see what you thought were parts or maybe isolated or separated. It's connected. It's all unfolding just the way it was meant to unfold. There's that saying, the world is perfect just the way it is. The problem is you don't like it the way it is. Think about that. So my areas of I don't like it this way, those are my areas of growth. It's like, what am I not seeing here? How can I gain a higher perspective to get this thing in perspective so I can see it as a perfection, the way God sees it? And that perception becomes my salvation. So maybe I could leave it at that. And we can take it from here.
Thank you, Dan. Very inspiring and reminding us of the way things are. Thank you so much for that. And at this time, we'll go into our donation of love and light. Actually, we will go into music, Christina, and then we'll go into our donation of love and light. Thank you.
Does it sound okay? This is called Jerry's Song. Your voice will always sing within my heart.
Thank you, Christina, for Jerry's song. And at this time, we will go into our donation of love and light by taking a breath together, placing our hands on our heart, becoming even more aware of the love and light within us that are divine, and aware of its capability of expanding and being shared. And we allow that. We allow this love, this light, to be shared with those who need it, with those who want it. And this divine love and divine light continue to expand, finding crevices and corners, bringing illumination to all things and all beings. And so it is. And we will finish with one more piece of music, please.
So, like Dan, I'm just going to see how the Spirit moves me. But I think we might get out of this key before that Spirit speaks. Or maybe the Spirit just spoke and said, get out of that key. Let's see.